What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Evan, kick back with another one. Ladies and gentlemen, do all multiracial people think the same? I'm just gonna answer this question right before I even watch the video. No. No, we don't all think the same. I don't think any groups of humans tend to think the same. Even though we gravitate to things that we're familiar with, we don't all think the same. And I'll definitely tell you, because you have black people born from different regions, different areas, different continents that have completely different upbringings. You know what I'm saying? I so happen to be born from Brooklyn, Flatbush. You know, I'm a New Yorker. You know, you could probably hear the accent. But nonetheless, I think this is a very interesting social topic. I'm intrigued by this. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope you guys are holding it down. And let's get to the show.
Say it when I'm around fellow black people, so my friends or my family who are black, but at the same time I'm like, I don't look black, so when it comes out of my mouth they're like,
She's
whoa.
black? Spectrum season 4, episode 4, mixed race.
You're mixed race, correct?
Yes,
Six
sir.
people?
I
Damn,
am
that
mixed
fast.
with African and Asian. I am more Asian than black.
I'm not even gonna touch that. I don't. Black is the dominant gene. But I mean, okay.
My dad was from El Salvador, and my mom is half Japanese, half Jewish.
My ethnicity is Filipino and black. I do feel more inclined to my black side more than my Filipino side.
My mother is white and my dad is Iranian. All throughout high school, I just pretended I was white because I looked very white.
I am half Chinese, half Russian Jewish. I never really connected to either side, just somewhere in the middle.
My mom is Jamaican and my dad is Australian. Being mixed race is a race, so I don't feel like I want to have to pick.
I wouldn't have gotten that read.
People think I'm hot because I'm mixed race. 3, 2, 1, go.
Someone agree. Okay.
As a mixed black person, a lot of people are like, oh my God, like you're like light skinned, you look so nice. Like you don't look like all the other ghetto girls. And I'm like,
Oh, exactly.
what is that supposed to mean? That's my aunt. Like,
Exactly.
On first dates, most of the time people be like, oh, no wonder you're so attractive, or like, no wonder you're so gorgeous. And I'm just like, ugh, I don't love that reaction.
I've always found like it's like just an awkward thing to bring up in conversation because there's like all the memes where like people are like, oh, did you know like I'm mixed or whatever, and it's like
I wouldn't have thought he was
bringing it up in,
Jamaican
like, the
at all.
natural flow of conversations
At
is always kinda
all.
weird.
I need to see these memes.
Have you not seen like the logic memes where he's like, oh, I'm biracial, and it's like, you haven't seen
No!
He's just always bringing up how he's like half black, and that's like what the meme is.
I'm allowed to say racial slurs as long as I'm part of that identity. 3, 2, 1, go.
Me personally,
I
I
believe it.
do not say the N-word. I just don't. It just doesn't flow out right. But like for my Asian side, obviously I can call my like fellow girlies chinks and stuff. But like obviously if someone else said that, you get the fist.
I agree. I do use the N-word, but I only say it when I'm around fellow black people, so my friends or my family who are black. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't look black, so when it comes out of my mouth, they're like, whoa.
I try my best to only use the N-word around like my black friends just because it creates this like weird air when I'm with like white people. It's a slippery slope that I don't like to go down.
And here's the controversy, right? Because I'm just gonna share my open thought. And why like you have people like Dr. Umar have like these interviews where he's like so against interracial marriages and interracial couples. It's like one of the points that he likes to allude to is because of like moments like this gentleman just described. I forgot his name, where he's just like white and like Jamaican. Looking at him, like he doesn't look black at all. You know what I'm saying? He looks mixed. I'm gonna be honest. He looks mixed because the hair kind of gives you a little culture, a little Afrocentricness, because it's like, you know, a little curly, a little nappy, whatever. But it's because of issues like that. Like when a kid grows up and they don't quite know how to identify, because it's like, hey, my blood says I'm black, but my skin color may say otherwise. So you have like these, you know, these mixed kids growing up not kind of knowing which side of the fence to reside on. And, you know, it causes them issues. It causes them social dilemmas where it's hard for them to fit in and find their groups of people. I get it. You know, am I against it? No, personally, no. Love is love. It is what it is. But it's always an interesting dynamic to see black people look white.
down.
Probably makes them really uncomfortable.
And actually, like, more than you think, it's not even uncomfortable. A lot of them think it's really cool, and then some people will feel entitled to do that, and then you just don't want to have that conversation.
That was me with my Asian friends. And
Yeah.
It's like a lot of Asian people like to go into black culture sometimes, you know?
Yes.
I did get into a little bit of an altercation in high school for calling white people colonists. That was the thing. And people were like, that's a racial slur. I don't think it is.
That is not a racial slur.
Personally, I don't feel comfortable using any slurs. If I haven't heard those slurs towards me, then maybe I am not in a position to reclaim them.
How you pass is more important than your actual race.
That's a good one. Passing, when a person classified as a member of one racial group is accepted as a member of a group other than their own. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
In America today, walking down the street, it matters what you look like. People are gonna judge you based on the race that they perceive you to be. When I walk down the street, people aren't gonna look at me the same way as they look at someone who's perceived as black. And so I just wanna really acknowledge the reality of that.
I wouldn't disagree with you at all, but at the same time, I think the most important thing is just how you grew up. Someone that has a black parent that doesn't appear black, they were still raised by a black person. They still everything that their parents' experience is passed down to them, whether it's through story or just through actions.
I'm actually going to move over to this line, which is, I guess, more of a middle line, just because I can't do that. Then I'm here. Never mind. So I'm on somewhat agree because I'm an actor, and when I go into casting calls, it only matters what I look like, and it only matters what race they think I am, which is a lot of times white, but sometimes I'll get called in for things that are not my ethnicity, and that's because of my career, that's what's important with that.
I've tried to hide some of my racial identity. 3, 2, 1, go.
You see? Yo, I'm watching this and I'm paying attention to the Jamaican dude, and let me see. Oh, okay, he went to disagree. Strong. Okay, so you didn't try to hide. So the only people that try to hide their racial identity, okay. All right, those three. Almost confused.
Even throughout high school, I just pretended I was white completely. And there was a time when my dad picked me up from school. It was a whole thing, and people were saying oh, your dad's a terrorist. I had never experienced anything like that, or they'd ask me about it, they'd make bomb jokes, and it hurt to hear people saying stuff like that about my dad.
A similar thing happened to me, when I was in elementary school. My dad came and dropped me off at school, and he's a dark-skinned black man, and he's from the hood on top of that. So he has a certain aura to him, and a lot of people look at me like, that's your dad? And I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. And they're like, he looks so scary. And I'm like, why does he look scary to you? Why should he look scary to you? And the only thing that's keeping me away from this strongly disagree is because when I was younger, I just did not accept the black part of myself.
Yo, I think we all just, as a culture, as a group of human beings, all have those traumatizing elementary school stories. You know what I'm saying? We're just it's you're growing up trying to understand who you are and trying to identify who you are, and then you just get either trolled, because kids are savages. There's no filter. You know what I mean? And just hearing her describe just having her dad drop her off at school, and just kids at an early age looking at her dad because he looks different, yo, he's scary. Why is he scary? Because he's black?
And now I do.
I just want to say I'm really sorry to both of you that you felt you've been put in positions to feel like that. That's just such a terrible thing to tell someone. No, you can't be every part of who you are.
These past couple years, I've been trying to reconnect with that part because I shoved it down for so long, and it's been really heartbreaking, the amount of Nowruzes I missed and the Ramadans I didn't celebrate because I felt so uncomfortable about that.
I think it's important you're taking the steps though. Personally, I've never tried to hide any part of me. That's always been the biggest thing for me. Growing up, I was always proud to be white, and I was always proud to be black. That's just how I was raised, and that's always how I was, and I just wanted to be me. So that's what I did.
The reason I'm on this line is because Western beauty standards suck. They really, really got to me. I would be really picky about how I would do my hair and how I would part my hair. And then when I would post YouTube videos or Instagram posts, I would color correct everything to be really blue so that I didn't look yellow. And it was just like I didn't want to post a photo of me outside because I thought my eyes looked too Asian. A lot of internalized things that made me hate myself and my appearance.
Just crazy.
And now I feel much more accepting of being mixed and being everything that I am. But I am here because I have felt like I wanted to hide a part of me because it would have been easier for me.
I agree. Like when I was younger, I used to want to be lighter. I used to get made fun of. I would always get the question, are you adopted? You're not Asian. And it just made me feel so bad about myself that I just was so confused because I didn't fit in any single pocket of anybody in any friend groups.
Kind of like what I was saying just a couple of minutes ago. It's like when you have interracial children, they don't know which side of the fence to reside because it's like, yo, am I black? Am I part of the Asian community? Am I black or am I white? And it's all decided by in public schools. Not even public schools. It could be private schools too. But you get confused the moment you even like you're just around people, and it's true. Like people don't see your personality; they see your skin color. You know what I mean? They see what they think you're supposed to be. So it's like if you're black and you don't have like nappy hair and it's like a little different, they're gonna look at you odd, like, yo, why doesn't your hair look like everybody else? You know? And I could remember myself being in elementary school, yo, like I used to wish that I was mixed because I didn't like the way my hair looked. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It really is crazy. Like these are real shits that's going on in this world.
I couldn't hang out with the Chinese kids because they're like, you don't look Chinese. I don't hang out with the black kids because I don't sound black. And they say I'm whitewashed. So my whole entire life, I've literally battled within like, what the hell am I?
Human.
I use my races to my advantage. 3, 2, 1.
Anybody black should say disagree. You know what I'm saying? To my advantage?
So I feel like I just have to say that when writing college essays, every single one of my essays was about being half Iranian and half white. Like when I was applying for scholarships, that's what I would talk about because it was something that I really felt passionate about, but also that something that I knew would catch people's interest. And I think I don't feel guilty about using that because I think
can't change.
It's a double-edged
just out here
sword,
sneaking
and
to
there's
the other
lots of
side.
repercussions for being mixed race too.
Well, I kind of interpreted it differently. Like, I haven't really abused my power like that. Like, sure, that is a way like that, but like, I haven't done anything else besides that on like my college apps.
So I don't know if I can do this, but maybe I'm gonna like straddle these two. You can't do that. Okay, then I'll like daintily pose over here. But like, my grandma was Jewish, and I did go on Birthright, which is a free trip for people of Jewish descent. And even though I don't like identify a lot with the Jewish religion, I did get a free trip to Israel out of being part Jewish. So I guess that's like kind of something to my advantage. But I really loved my time there.
Hey,
got a
free
lot out of
trip.
it. Yeah.
Free trip.
Yeah, but you know.
So we're just
I've
breaking the
gotten,
rules.
like jobs for being half Asian, for like I worked at mostly predominantly Asian businesses, and as soon as I say I speak fluent Cantonese, I got the job.
But that's like a skill.
I know.
Like
it
you
is
can
a
be
skill.
proud of it. It's a
No,
skill
I
that you
love
have.
it. No, trust me, but it does get me job opportunities better than other people who are like, you know, white or black, who get the same positions, but they would hire me because I'm half Asian and like I speak the language and stuff.
Okay, I moved because I was thinking more about the question. When I first heard the question, I was thinking like, do I have any kind of advantage? And then I was thinking about how like being part white does give me some privilege and like some advantages, but I don't think I've used that for like scholarships or any of that. And I try to really stay conscious when I'm in like an Asian space to not take up
Just out
too
here
much
trying
of the
to get
space
crust off my face as I'm watching
because
this.
of my whiteness, you know? Like it's like
But
it's a
still
fine
your
line.
space. Like, you're still
Yeah,
Asian.
I guess I've always been kind of cautious about that. But thinking more about the question, I was like, no, I should be on this side.
The issue of racism can be solved by interracial love.
Wow, that's a good question. Can the issue of racism be solved by interracial love? Where would I side? No, it can't. I'd strongly disagree. I'm gonna give my explanation why, but I want to see what they go with.
This is from the audience?
I
Strongly disagree. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really doesn't matter. And before they even get to it, my whole thing is the issue with racism is embedded into the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in the books, it's in the laws, it's in the soil that makes America America. Like, America was created off the backs of slavery. And a lot of these old white men who wrote, you know, the Constitution and all these other laws and practices, even the national anthem, they weren't ever made for black people. They weren't created with black people in mind. So now we're living in a day and age where interracial loves are happening more and more often. We're seeing more mixed babies than ever. It's like a big bang, man. Things are changing. You know, and the country's like, nice story, bro, but racism is still alive. You know what I'm saying? How many mixed babies do we have out here? Racism still exists because it's embedded into the country. You still have certain groups of people that just will never view they'll just judge a book by its cover. And it's crazy too, because it's only the pigmentation of your skin determines your value. Gotta hear what they say.
There are way too many articles about an interracial couple where it's later find out that the white part is saying a racial slur about their child. Just to boil it down to like love, it really can't be done.
First of all, that. Second of all, there's a lot of, sorry to name names, but like a lot of white women who want to get with black men trying to achieve their light-skinned baby who's like just the perfect amount of tan with the perfect amount of curls.
Yeah, like raise your hand if you've heard someone be like, oh my gosh, I would have such gorgeous mixed babies. Like, definitely heard that, and we're all gorgeous, don't get me wrong. But that's super problematic to say, one. And two, I'm over here because like there is like no one solution to racism.
Let me make it really clear that a white person having a kid with a black person does not mean that that person does not have racist tendencies or is not discriminatory at all. I love my dad to death, but sometimes he just says things where it's like, you shouldn't be saying that.
Plus, like, even in like a future, if like America becomes super mixed and like everybody's mixed, if not racism, we'll still have like colorism and different nuances within racism. It's not gonna go away just because people are more mixed. Like, you can say like mixed people are the future or whatever, but it's not gonna solve racism.
No, definitely isn't. This was cool. This was healthy.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to check
I did. I love watching videos like this, man, because every single time, like I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, and I always tell myself, like, I wish I had a lot more mixed friends just so I could get like a good understanding of everybody else's upbringings. I know my own. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, and I found a way to survive all the things that I grew up and all the traumas that I experienced to be who I am today. But just hearing people's stories about like their upbringings and how the world perceives them and some of their privileges. Honestly, you ask a black man about any kind of privilege and, well, where do, but nonetheless, like, it's just super interesting to just hear people talk about that. Interracial love, stopping racism, cut the shit. It's just never gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like Shorty said, like, if it's not racism, it's colorism and all that other stuff. And it's like, we just can't all get along, even though we would all want to, right? But nonetheless, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It's your boy Evan King, and we're about to upload another one, man. Mamba out.